Life can be a lot like ascending a slope of loose scree, a whole load of work and many times tedious. But when you glance behind you every now and then, you start to realize what you've achieved. One thing is for certain, these vistas that ETOL alumni create for themselves or fall into are diverse and inspiring. You just have to keep your feet moving and pick your line.
So my name is Jesse Hebenton. I'm the owner and operator of a business called GearTrade.ca. I graduated from the Applied Bachelor's degree of Ecotourism and Outdoor Leadership in 2015. So I was thinking about this, and I was chatting with you guys a little bit about this too. I think the biggest thing that you can do while you're in the degree is network as much as you possibly can. And you won't realize it until after you graduate, but the outdoor industry is really, really big, but can be really, really small sometimes. And the amount of times that I've reached out to friends or applied for a job and knew somebody in the outdoor industry or from ETOL it's like almost every time I've gotten a job, it's been through a friend of a friend or a friend directly. So there's a quote where luck is where preparedness meets opportunity, and I think that's exactly what kind of happened in my situation. So I was already running a business, building custom fly fishing rods and dabbling as an entrepreneur, and I had a family friend who ran GearTrade, and he wanted to retire, and so he offered me the business, and so I purchased it about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, and since then we've grown the business substantially. But yeah, it was just kind of like I was already dabbling as being an entrepreneur, and this opportunity kind of popped up and I jumped on it. So I was thinking a lot about this, and I think the success to me is the first and foremost thing is being happy with what you're doing and being content. And second to that, or actually I would say on the same bar as that, would be giving back to your community and just like being involved with your community. And so it's being happy with what you're doing and then also giving back to society and giving back to your community on equal parts, I think, are the two most important things. COVID has been the most interesting thing for me to watch, being from the outdoor industry. So the biggest trend in the last 2 years, I would say, is there is a astronomical amount of people who have never been in the outdoors or gone camping or gone hiking, entering into that sector. So I have seen in the last 2 years tons of families come through that are going camping for the first time, or they're going to Banff, whatever it is, going to K Country. So that's probably the biggest trend I've seen in the last 2 years. And then I would say for the people who have already been in the outdoor industry, prior to COVID, I would say the biggest trend is people moving fast and lighter. So ultralight tents, ultralight backpacks, minimalist style, I think is like the most growing part of outdoor retail. That's a really good question. I don't know, to be honest. We are in this stage right now where we've grown so much in the last couple of years, and we are trying to figure out what our 3-year plan is, what our 5-year plan is, what our 10-year plan is, and we actually don't know right now. Whether it's to take it out of a little shop like this and move it into something bigger, to bring on somebody, because it's kind of like at that point where it's too much for one person. So we're just trying to figure it out, but to be honest, I don't know, and we're working on that. So given that it's just my wife and I think the hardest part about what I do and being an entrepreneur and owning a business is I literally do everything. I do everything from shipping and receiving, to booking appointments, to answering the phone calls, to answering emails, to updating the website, to packing orders and sending them out. It's literally like the books, like every single part of the business is realistically ran by two people. And I think that's the hardest part of becoming the owner of GearTrade and becoming an entrepreneur is ETOL sets you up for a little bit of this through some of their classes, but you really get thrown into the deep end, and you need to know how to apply for permits, and there's so many different elements of it. Every year, not every year, this is the second year that we've done it. We do a annual Advent box, outdoor themed Advent box for charity. And so last year we did one. We raised a couple $1,000s for a charity in Okotoks. And this year we're doing another one. And we've decided to donate our funds to Rocky Mountain Adaptive, which is a adaptive outdoor programming facility in Canmore that helps people who face barriers to the outdoors get outside. And then we're also going to donate some charity or some proceeds to the Children's Hospital. And so so we're working right now on these Advent boxes. There's like 24 items that go into each box, and then the person gets to open up each bag every day throughout December up until Christmas, which is really cool. And then there's things like titanium sporks and paracord and a bunch of different outdoor themed items. So a large portion of my job is also finding products that are available for a lot cheaper than brand name products that are really identical in a lot of cases. So here's a really good example. So here's your like $140 jet boil. This is actually mine. I own it. I've sold them in the past as well. I actually think that these clones are a better product, and they're about a third of the price. And so really, if you want to get into it, this is like kind of large and it's kind of tippy, really tall and kind of tippy. I also don't like the handle because it boils over and it'll burn your hand, versus these little knockoff stoves are identical. They boil at the identical speed. I've tested them out side by side. They've got handles that you can actually keep your hand away from the pot, and they're a lot more stable. So again, a large portion of my job is finding these products that aren't brand name, but are the same quality, the same function, the same specs in a lot of cases, but are just offered at a substantially lower cost. And that's a huge part of what I offer is a mix of both brand name and then knockoff stuff. So my website is GearTrade.ca. And on there you can find a whole variety of different products, from brand names like Osprey and Gregory and Deuter and Kelty and Climate and whatever, to a lot of clones of stuff or brands that I brought in and branded. There's sleeping pads, water filters, backpacks, tents, stoves, dehydrated food or freeze-dried food. Basically, you think about MEC in just a smaller operation of that. Basically I outfit 500 people to do the West Coast Trail every year, so I kind of offer a little bit of everything. So.
Welcome to Mountain Helicopters.
name's Nadia Bosman, and I'm a helicopter pilot. I work as a flight instructor at Mountain View Helicopters and also for Alpine Helicopters as a ski support and firefighter in the summer. Flying is not something I thought about doing when I started the program. I started ETOL right after high school, and when was that? 2004, I think. 2004, graduated 2008, and then I didn't start a helicopter license until 2009. Well, I had a few different jobs that had some helicopter work. I worked at a backcountry lodge just outside of Golden as an assistant hiking guide. That was part of a practicum for ETOL. I tree planted one season and just had some other random interactions with helicopters along the way. And I always enjoyed chatting with the pilots and figuring out what their job entailed. And that sparked some interest. And I liked the idea of being able to access remote places that I wouldn't otherwise be able to get to. So getting my license seemed like a good way to be able to do that. Teaching someone to fly is really intimidating at first. I think I learned more than my students did in the first 500 hours of instructing. It's a pretty cool way to see somebody go from knowing nothing and being able to fly at the end. What I realized as an instructor is sometimes you're just there so that they don't kill themselves, and you wait for them to figure it out. Success to me looks like doing something that you're passionate about, that makes you happy. What has made me successful so far, I think there's a lot more to still be successful, but I think some of the things that I feel make me successful or have made me successful so far is being driven by the bigger outcome, and I think there's a lot more still to accomplish in my career and a lot more success to be had, but seeing the bigger picture and getting excited about the process of getting there, I think that's the goal. I think for me, my helicopter flying has allowed me to work in different industries that relate to ETOL. And the thing that I like about that is that I've had the opportunity to be part of what my customers are part of. I've flown some glaciologists and microbiologists in the Arctic, and it's really exciting to be able to be a part of what they do and learn about what they're studying, environmental work, reclamation work in the oil sands, firefighting, or wildfire fighting, I guess, and perhaps not very much ETOL related, but it's the outdoors that interests me, it's the environment that interests me, and it's the ability to work with different people and be a little bit part of all those different industries that I wouldn't otherwise be able to get to or access. Well, right now I am working for a heli ski company in the wintertime, and ideally I would like to continue to progress with them. Right now I'm doing ski support, so I fly a snow safety guide around and do some avalanche bombing and hang around while they dig snow pits and do some snow assessment and that kind of stuff. I fly lunches out and meet up with guests who are having a great time skiing. And then in the summertime, it's firefighting, but there's a lot more in the industry that I would like to pursue. I'm in the process of studying for my FAA, which is my American license, to open up some more doors and opportunities there. So I don't know. There's a lot more that can happen. Search and rescue is an opportunity as well, and I think I'd like to keep my options open. I think it's good to be open to different opportunities. That's kind of what happened in ETOL, anyways. I had an idea of what I wanted to do when I started ETOL, and this theme about the helicopters just sort of kept showing up, and I think that's what allowed different opportunities and doors to open up, and that's why I am where I am now, I guess. I think probably exactly that, is to be open to different opportunities that come up, and I think it's really important to be goal-oriented and to have an idea of what you want to do, but I think that there's opportunities that could be missed or doors that could stay closed if you're not open-minded about some things that come across your path. As part of one of the field schools, we went to Baffin Island with Ian Sherrington, and that was also a pivotal moment in me doing this. It wasn't necessarily anything helicopter related, but the Arctic has always really inspired me and interested me, and I've realized that when I was talking with different pilots as I was going through the ETOL program and just the different interactions and opportunities, that I wouldn't be able to get to those places otherwise. And that was one of the things that sparked interest in just going remote places and going into the Arctic. And I've been lucky enough to do that as a pilot as well. So that definitely steered some of the direction for sure. But I had a lot of good times in ETOL that I don't even think I could talk about on camera.
Soundstripe.